2015. We're going to finish reading Acts chapter 14 and then move on into Acts chapter 15. And let's see, Acts chapter 15 is a council at Jerusalem. It's kind of a long chapter, so we might not get through it tomorrow, but we'll try. All right, so Acts chapter 14, verse 14 says, "But when the apostle Barnabas and Paul heard of this, they tore their clothes and rushed out into the crowd, shouting, 'Friends, why are you doing this? We too only human-like. We are bringing you good news, telling you to turn from these worthless things to the living God, who made the heavens and the earth and the sea and everything in them. In the past he let all nations go their own way, yet he has not left himself without testimony. He has shown kindness by giving you rain from heaven and crops to their season. He provides you with plenty of food and fills your hearts with joy.' Even with these words, they have difficulty keeping the crowd from escaping to them. Then some Jews came from Antioch and Iconium and won the crowd over. They stoned Paul and dragged him outside the city, thinking he was dead. But after the disciples had gathered around him, he got back up and went back into the city. The next day, he and Barnabas left for Derbe. They preached the gospel in the city and won large numbers of disciples. Then they returned to Lystra, Iconium, and Antioch, strengthening the disciples and encouraging them to remain true to the faith. When we must go through many hardships to enter the kingdom of God. Paul and Barnabas appointed elders from each of the church, and with the prayer and fasting committed to the Lord, and whom they had put their trust. After going through Pisidia and came to Pamphylia, and when they had preached the word in Pergia, they went down to Attalia. From Attalia, they sailed back to Antioch, where they had been committed to the grace of God for the work they had now completed. On arriving there, they gathered the church together and reported all that God had done through them and how he had opened the door of faith to Gentiles, and they stayed there a long time with the disciples. Certain people, this is Acts chapter 15, certain people came down from Judea to Antioch, were teaching the believers, "Unless you are circumcised according to the custom taught by Moses, you cannot be saved." This brought Paul and Barnabas into a sharp dispute and debate with them. So Paul and Barnabas were appointed, along with some other believers, to go up to Jerusalem to see the apostles and the elders about the question. The church sent them on their way, and they had traveled through Phoenicia and Samaria. They told how Gentiles had been converted. This news made all believers very glad. When they came to Jerusalem, they were welcomed by the church and the apostles and the elders, to whom they reported everything God had done through them. Then some of the believers who belonged to the party of the Pharisees stood up and said, "The Gentiles must be circumcised and required to keep the law of Moses." Okay, so tomorrow we're going to read verse 6 through verse 41. Just want to go ahead and say I am popping all these unwanted pimples. My face is all red. I had a pretty blessed day today. It was very long but productive. I kind of had a breakthrough with one of my employers, so that felt really good. I was kind of at that point with what I really want to do, and how do I really want to conduct myself, and what do I really want to focus on, what matters the most to me, I'm just going to go ahead and put prayers out for his wife and that everything goes okay. His wife's sick, so I said a prayer in Jesus' name that he comes through. God has been giving me an overwhelming amount of peace through most of the day, and I'm able to kind of get through it. And he is a miracle worker. And it's funny, it's like, when I decided to go back to the Lord and just, not back to, I feel like just really just get to know who God is. I remember the guy that was there that I was talking to about it over at the church, Pastor Rory, one of his pastors there, or I don't know, administrators, they asked me what song God will give you a song to think of whenever you think about this moment and what He's promises to you. And it was Hezekiah Walker, and it was restore. God will restore everything that the devil stole from you. Faithful is a song. And boy, let me tell you, every little thing, I mean, memories, things have been coming up, like, that I've forgotten about. And it's just, we serve a big God, and He is faithful. And as long as you show initiative, like that you want to seek after Him and want to know Him, the peace that comes with that is like really, really unbelievable. It's real. It's real when you decide to serve God. You get to know Him. Realize that you don't have the power to change everything. You just, gosh, just do you, and turn away from your sin. I'd say that's probably the biggest thing, I do sin a lot, just like most of us, but I'm trying consciously not to. And remembering that once you put the name Christian on you, you take on a very, very, very heavy but beautiful, robe of history, of majesty, and also of hypocrisy. So you are being watched. I mean, it's feel like people are just waiting for me to fall. And that kind of makes me, I owe it to God. I feel like that makes me want to be a better person. And I know everyone's watching, and I want to be a soldier for God. I just want Him to be my protector. And then I'll fall in all the days of my life. Alright. Tomorrow will be the rest of Acts chapter 14. Thanks so much for listening to me blah blah blah. Good night.